And yeah, so here's an album review. Let's introduce ourselves first.
Hey, man, real quick. DJ L-Spade. Yeah. Watch the previous podcast to see everything I do.
That's right.
Jet Axel, London, UK. Fuck with me.
Okay, so we just not going. I'm the only one talking about all the bullshit that I do. Yeah.
Modest.
I mean, okay. I won't do it again. If you know the vibes, you know the vibes. Peep the doodly do, all the descriptions and whatnot. But yeah, here goes an album review, and in the background you hear Soul Dope 95 Beats. I talk about him all the time as well. I did an interview with him too, so shout out. But today we're going to talk about one of the newer albums. I guess it's a trio of albums that came out from your old Droog and the God Fahim. This album that we're going to talk about today is The Wolf on Wall Street, or is it on Wall Street, right? This is their second official project collab. The first was 2020's, which was like December 2020. Dump Yad, your old Droog. Of course, the Dump God is Fahim, and then Droog is Yad, which was a solo project by Droog that was produced by Fahim and executively produced by Makhami. This album dropped in the end of January, towards the end of January, and as we're recording this in March, they also released the third, which is the God Fahim.
Yeah.
And that is an album where they brought in other producers. I think Quelle Chris has got a joint on there. Who else is on there?
Production, I don't know.
I can't. Perseverance, is that his name? Yeah, Perseverance is on there. I think Mock's got a beat on there too. There's a couple of joints, but it's really good and different than this album. Should I talk about the albums? Let's first, before we get into this, let's talk about these artists in general that we're talking about. Now, L-Spade, you're not familiar with either of these people, right?
Not at all.
You haven't listened to any Droog and also, full disclosure, he didn't listen to this album completely either.
I did not.
So this is quite similar to his reactions that he does, his non-reaction videos that you do on your own.
You getting my first thoughts of listening to like this album and in sections. So keep that in mind when I'm talking. Like, I'm not going to be coming from a deep analytical spot as these guys over here.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
I'm looking forward to you listening to more of these guys so we can have different, stronger opinions from you on them.
No, see, off this, I will listen some more. However, I do got some opinions about this.
Okay.
That y'all gonna hate, but it's okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that our target audience is like God Fahim fans. You know what I mean?
I have my doubts.
Yeah. I don't think so. But yeah. What about you? You're familiar with both, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, me too. I gotta say that I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of Fahim stuff. Like, I can get into it.
Sure.
You know, he's a younger rapper, and he calls himself the God Fahim because apparently he does practice 5% theology.
Okay.
And which is a thing you guys know that I'm mega, because when I was 14, I became born God, and I was a 5%er for many years. Since then, I've always just rocked with mega, but Master Equality God Allah is not something that is like a part of my inherent kind of ideological or my BS, my belief system. I'm not God body like that. And when I listen to cats that are God body, I always cringe just a little bit, just because it's like a lot of times it seems to me like some real kind of pseudo intellectual shit.
Sure, yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about Fahim. And on top of that, there's a problematic aspect to him that I don't really like enjoy to listen to. Like, some of his album intros, he's like, "Your favorite rapper is a homosexual." You know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, I mean, but see, that's the thing about kind of the 5%ers. It's a reactionary. It's kind of a conservative take.
Very patriarchal.
Very patriarchal. Ooh, exactly. Yeah. And which is fine. And I don't think that does anything negative to his art. His art is his own. But it's one thing that prevents me from really enjoying the music more than I might.
For sure. I mean, I think I usually have a little more leeway for 5%ers just because I feel like my exposure to the 5% nation, you know, as a British person, is almost entirely through hip-hop. Whereas when a rapper is like very Christian or very Muslim on a track, like I tend to wince a little more.
Sure.
Just because for me, like, you know, those 5% tropes are hip-hop tropes.
Right.
as opposed to being like something that I grew up around or have any like immediate familiarity with.
Yeah, man, I don't rock with the whole 5% thing. Respect it, don't rock with it. Because, like, yo, okay, this is coming from a guy who don't rock with religion at all. I feel like all religion is just stupid.
I'm also an atheist. I feel you.
But yeah, man, the 5% came off like a kind of like a crackpot religion, and they came strong like during the 90s. I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
I think it, not to go off too much on a tangent about 5% theology, but I think it was really useful for the time that it was. But it's no longer something that I really support in any particular way. I do appreciate anything that's pro-black and liberational in their politics, but
yes,
a lot of times the hip-hop guys are not coming from that direction.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
A lot of the hip-hop guys are not coming from that direction. I do know some God bodies who are some real cool cats and that I fuck with heavy. I don't know exactly the extent in which the God Fahim studies, but it comes across in his art, and sometimes it's an added element and sometimes it's a little bit not to me. So what about Droog? Also not familiar with Droog. Now he sounds like Nas.
Yeah, fake Nas. Yeah.
Now, I don't think I think that's a disservice to Droog. His voice, his voice tone sounds like Nas, but he raps. He's doing different things.
Yeah,
trying to do different things too. And nor is he like making like an Illmatic 2 where he raps over fucking Nas beats or some shit. You know what I mean?
Shouts out to L-Spade. Shouts out to L-Spade.
I mean, Illmatic might be, some of those tracks are doper than the Nas versions in my opinion.
I love Illmatic.
I don't have the courage to even like give any takes on Illmatic, but I think it's a good take.
You're right.
I think it's a real good take.
It's the only album that's really like a complete homage that I will allow. Sky Zoo has that reasonable, anyways, but yeah, so both of these cats are really dope, and both of them have pretty unique styles. Or at least their vocal tone and what they talk about and how they approach it is unique. The God Fahim, I think, is one of the cats, along with like Camouflage Monk, who's really responsible for what a lot of people are calling neo boom bap hip hop right now. It seems to be a wave. The Griselda guys are former, creative collaborators with Mach and Fahim, so I think there's something to be said about that.
For sure.
Both dope, all dope. So this album, though, general thoughts. Should we each just go?
Sure.
And give our general thoughts. You want to start off, Jet?
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. I feel kind of bad that our first review is going to be me being very like tepid and not having very strong opinions on it. There were some highlight moments on there. It's nice to hear Droog like kind of spreading his wings a little. Kind of being a little more personal, a little more vulnerable on the album compared to some of his previous output.
Meditation is, one of his most personal and dopest verses, I think.
Dope track. But, like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, The Poverty Bothers Me is, like, meant to be the centerpiece on that record, and it didn't do anything for me. The beats are cool. I like the God Fahim as a producer. I'm not, like, wild about how they sound over the beats on that record.
He made the beats, huh? Okay.
That's him, right? Dump God?
I think so. Yeah, I think I think most of the beats on this were Fahim beats.
Yeah.
And executively produced by Mach.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was cool. I'll probably listen to it like once ever again. And that probably sounds like a harsh criticism. But I can't see myself like ever like in a circumstance where I'm kind of sitting down with some headphones on being like, yo, I'm gonna listen to that second old Droog God Fahim record.
Listen, you know what really bothers me right now? The poverty. Like, let me check that out.
That's some praxis right there. That track right there. That's some fucking praxis.
Yeah, word. I don't know. You want to go, L-Spade?
Either or.
Okay, I mean, I'll go off since we had a miscommunication. He didn't listen to either of the albums we're going to record. But we did listen to a lot of it while he's been sitting here in between the break and everything and before Jet even got here.
Sorry.
For me, no, you were on time. You were good. He came like 20 minutes early, which was on time. And
From early can't be on time.
Word.
I mean, late. Yeah, you know what I meant.
There we go. But yeah, I mean, I like both of these artists in their own right. I'm not a huge super fan, but Droog's album make my album of the year list sometimes. Transportation was really dope. It Wasn't Even Close was really dope. And so I've grown to really enjoy Droog. One of the things about Droog and Fahim for me is that it's a lot of times it's like the beat is what makes it a hit or miss, right? Because the rapping is always at a certain level. Same thing with Griselda. It's like the lyrics are going to be like, there's nothing that's going to stand out like they styled differently or they really barred out much more than usual. But I do enjoy the lyrics on this for what they're worth. I kind of see this album a little bit like a buddy cop film. Maybe not cop film, but like a buddy film, right?
I feel that.
It's like a Tango and Cash type of thing. It's like both of their unique styles come together. One dislocates their arm and, gets through the shit. And I think that that's kind of dope.
They work off each other real well.
Well, the accusation that Droog sounds like Nas is something that is always levied against him. People listen, they're like, this is a fake Nas. This is how a Nas sound. What's crazy to me is I was listening to this. I was like, Fahim sounds a lot like Cormega.
Right.
On this, and so to me it was almost like, wow, this is a really interesting firm album.
Parallel universe firm record.
Yeah, and I mean it's dope in that regard. The thing that left me a little bit less excited, and also is one of the reasons I like this album the least compared to the other two, is the production. The production's not bad, and they seem to have gone, at least for the first half of the album, with this kind of like 1970s taxi cab television show intro style beat that is just kind of subdued. They're Fahim style beats, simple loops, jazzy loops with simple drums, which is a marking of his style. But it's dope on a rainy day. But when I was listening to it when it was sunny, it's just not a vibe for me on this. So maybe I need to catch this on a day like this when I'm concerned about the poverty.
What? L-Spade.
Yo, man, y'all gonna make me the bad guy. But, I just listened to this album now. So take my opinion with a grain of salt, guys. Now, first impact on this album, the homie, was it Young Droog?
Your old Droog?
Your old Droog? Yeah, man, fake Nas. Off the first time I heard it,
Come
man.
on, dog. That's such a crazy hot
I
take.
hear what you're saying.
Don't say fake.
No, not Nas. How about that?
That's accurate. That's accurate.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, this is so Nas adjacent. Like, you can't help but hear the influence of Nas. Then I looked him up, and I'm like, oh, he's from Brooklyn. So, yeah, of course, dude got some Nas influence, but dude sounds like Nas to me.
You're talking about the tone of his voice. Because the rhyme styles is not
Rhyme
Nas.
scheme a little different, however, the influence is there.
Okay.
I mean, it's there. I mean, look, man.
I feel like the presence of an influence isn't necessarily.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just
Nas,
saying, when I heard it, I'm like, oh, is this Nas? I had to actually look, like, yo, is this Nas? I'm like, oh,
when he first dropped, like
everybody thought that.
that's
so
what I'm
everybody
saying.
thought,
So
is this a
saying.
Nas
I
project?
think he's got a DJ Vlad thing. No, but I just felt I'm attacking you.
Yes, you are.
No,
I feel so triggered now.
No, I don't care about him that much, but I think to call him a fake Nas is a disservice.
I'm saying when you first hear him, now you guys have a more intimate connection with him because you know his stuff and you can probably differentiate.
Sure.
For me, hearing the
First
first time,
listen.
it's Nas. I'm like, oh well, Nas got some new bars. That's what I heard. I'm like, but then you like, it's not Nas. I'm like, okay. Then you look at where he's from, Brooklyn. Nas connection. All right. Then you got the
Nas from
homie,
Queens.
New York, man. Come on, man. I feel you saying. Had to sneak that one in there.
I didn't want people to watch and be like, nobody's
Yeah,
going to correct
no
him.
one's gonna correct him.
I'm correct. Yeah.
All right. So then in the homie was the Farouk.
Fahim.
Yeah, that guy.
Shouts out to my boy Farouk.
Shout out to Farouk, the wrestler,
Yeah.
though.
Fahim,
Yeah.
yo, not gonna lie, man. I had to look where he was from. Atlanta, man, because he had kind of a sci-hi vibe to him. And I'm like, yo, not really feeling this guy's bars. Not bad bars. I'm saying next to the homie your old dog, your old Droog. I'm slaughtering all these guys' names. It's not intentional, guys. It's my first time listening, okay?
Shouts
But,
out
yo,
to Farouk Bulsara.
it's a deviation in like quality of bars between the two. Like you could tell
Sure.
who's the strongest one.
Sure.
And that's the homie your old Droog.
I think it's fair to say that Droog is the better lyricist.
Yes. Like killing the god.
The God Fahim got bad bars. I wrote a bar down here that is really bad. It says, I'm a legend like the Legend of Zelda.
Come on, bro. Come on. I can't condone that. Like seriously. Like really, that's what you came up with?
Look, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because there's no white people here to
Exactly.
disparage it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't bring. Like, it's like talking shit about Obama. Like I'm not gonna put him
Not
out
in-
like that.
not in mixed company.
In a mixed company.
But
crowd.
I didn't. It's funny because when I heard that bar, like it just reminded me of like all of my friends, like all of my friends who rap, and that's I'm not trying to hate.
Wow.
Like, but like
It's true. They're
Like-
not bad bars.
they're not
just
bad,
not
but like
good bars.
it's just like all of my like
The bar's not.
nerdy friends that I used to play video games with.
I'm saying, but the bar itself, it ain't the content of the bar. It's the bar itself. It's just not hitting. Like,
Right.
When he said that bar, you just like,
I mean, but if
Yeah.
you think about it, like, the Legend of Zelda is, legendary. Link undergoes a legendary exploration. It's really a legendary thing to do something like that.
You're reaching, man. You're reaching.
I am, but I'm just saying, it's not like. That's the thing about. I feel there's a thing about Fahim. Like, he's not a great MC.
No.
I think the people that listen to him are there for the vibe that he cultivates between his production.
I'm glad you
and
brought
his
that
style.
up because the vibe of this album was very dirgy and slow. Which, all right, I'm not knocking that. That's cool. Like you said, rainy day music, I totally agree with you on that. You got to be in a mood for this album. It's a mood album. But the production on this album, man, I was not impressed at all. But Jet made a point that really made it clear to me. You said they putting out like 3 albums back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
This is just fatigue, man. It's just beat fatigue. It's like, I'm putting out so many beats. Like the old Master P beat by the pound. Like, just put it out, put it out, put it out, put it out.
I don't think Dump God Fahim actually produced all 3. He only produced.
He's got like
this
two
one,
beats
I
on,
think. Only
this,
two?
on the third album.
Well, the whole production on this album, from what I heard, I'm gonna give it another listen. Today, but the beats for me was just all mellow Georgie type samples, 8-bar samples, and just put a drum 8-bar
put some
drum
drums
loop
on
on it,
there.
and we're done, guys. We did it.
What
Hey,
what I will
let it fly.
say is that I don't agree that I don't think that it's fatigue. It is very much his style of production, and it's also one that is not uncommon for people who are within this lane.
Okay.
If you listen to Griselda, 4 years ago, they're rapping over Fahim beats that are very similar to this, and it's an aesthetic. It's an aesthetic choice. In the same way that certain hi hats are an
Ticket
aesthetic
and stuff
choice.
like that.
But
Okay,
I guess where like a Griselda feature on there would have worked better for me than having Droog and Fahim on there is like if you had West Side Gun just swarming all over the beat with his ad libs and just
would've
kind of
been
yelling,
hard.
opening on that. Hey yo,
It would have been hard. I would have loved it.
Would have probably, there would have been like less space. Whereas this is a very spacey record. There is
Longer tracks. There's
Yeah.
fucking like outros for like a minute.
outros and like just like spoken passages, samples.
It seems like an album that was trying to be deep without getting deep for me. That's our first listen.
That's
That's like 97% of rap music.
But
Hey,
to be
touche.
fair,
But I'm saying it wasn't impactful for me.
There's I think maybe on the track Meditation actually, which was my favorite track on the album. But at the end of that record, there's like a whole passage. I don't know who it is. I did not do the reading ahead of time, but they talk about like the nature of meditation and reaching a destination and all this stuff, and like it's cool, but at the same time, I don't know how earned it was.
Sure.
Well,
back to the poverty bothering me, right? It's like this is a track that is about something that's like, oh yeah, this is a good thing to think about and to talk about.
Sure.
Poverty as a net whole is a negative thing, and in kind of a musical ecosystem now where there's all of these kind of woke take tracks where it's like, Black Lives Matter style tracks. It was refreshing to see a track that is not about like police brutality, but also about kind of like poverty and how it's kind of shitty. But it feels unearned because much of the things they're talking about are not really focusing on it in any kind of intellectual way. And at the same time, you have bars where Droog is saying he's like Cornel West, but more intellectual. And shout out to the guy Cornel West, an actual socialist, an actual communist. It felt unearned, but that's symptomatic of all most rap music.
But even the title of the track, like, oh, it bothers you. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh
man.
my god, it missed the mark to me. Like seriously, when I listened to the song, I asked you to replay again. I'm like, yo, are we talking about poverty?
It's like,
Is this really about poverty, or is it you telling me how good you are lyrically? Wow, poverty is a sidestep. It's like, dude, if you're gonna make a song about poverty, make it about poverty, my guy. Put some solutions in here. Like, yo, what are you gonna do? How can we fix this?
It was a typical neoliberal approach to solving
Here
poverty
he
by
goes.
pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps and
bootstraps.
fight your way out of there. Learn to
Bootstrap
fucking
Bob.
dribble a basketball, or you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I got out. Why can't you get out?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if anything, I was kind of surprised that the bars kind of remained at a steady level, which is what I would expect from them, considering the amount of music that's come out. And that's kind of like my like, I don't know. Do we have anything else critical to say, or should we start wrapping it up and talking about like?
Okay, I got one more thing.
I mean, I feel bad because I think I come across like I hate this record, and I didn't.
Same. And I don't think you really. Have
I
an
did
opinion.
not like it.
Well, you
I don't have a
Yeah.
informed opinion because I haven't heard the whole thing in depth. I'm just giving you my first listen to it. But our first listen, I would go listen to some more of this stuff. So I didn't like it either. It wasn't like, and I hope I'm not coming across like this. I'm not saying this album was booty. Like, oh my God, how dare the production was. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying our first hit, it was all monotone and dirgy. You had to be in the mood. So off listening to what I did listen to, I would definitely dig in their catalog and see that, yo, what y'all got.
I really enjoyed my first listen. I didn't listen to the first one because I didn't realize it was a trilogy. So I listened to.
I don't think it was supposed to be a trilogy.
Okay.
That's just kind of what I called it.
I mean,
that
I
first joint
listened
is
to this
just a
one
Droog album. I thought.
And the God Fahim. I listened to the other one with the basketball theming, and I guess it's kind of interesting that there's a lot of basketball in both records. And as a British person, like, yeah, I don't really know shit about basketball. Like, you know, all of those references went over my head.
But do you know about cricket? See, that's a stereotype we got about you British people.
Well, I mean, I'm Jamaican. I'm Jamaican, so like I should, but no. I play guitar. I have a literature degree. I don't know shit about sports.
You shattered all my stereotypes right there.
I like Formula One. Anyone dropping any Formula One bars?
So, okay, let's get into a little bit of a ranking. And I know this is difficult for you because you didn't really get a chance. And it would be disingenuous of you to really have a strong, informed opinion on it. But, like, for you, how do you rank this? Like, what would you say in any type of
relative
metric?
to their discographies?
I mean, in it, like, how many Drakes? Like 1 out of 10 Drakes?
Is
that how many? Like, is that how many? Like, where it fits on the Drake scale? Is this like a how many? You know, any way
I would certainly compare it to a better Drake project. You know, if I'm gonna liken it to Drake albums, it's certainly better than Scorpion or Take Care.
I would give this like one out of 5 Drakes, meaning that this is not something that a Drake fan would ever kind of like want to get into.
Okay, yeah. So if you're a Drake fan,
not your vibe.
Probably not your vibe, but give it a listen, cause bars.
What about a 7 out of 10? I mean, like in terms like a 0 to 10.
Okay,
I saw Pitchfork.
6.
Whoever wrote about it in Pitchfork gave it like a 7.2, and I was surprised by that.
I
didn't see who it was. Well,
Pitchfork stealing from my podcast.
Oh, that's
keep
right.
bringing
They
it
did
up.
do that.
Seriously,
I'm gonna
keep bringing it up.
I'm gonna bring that up
Clarify
again and again
for
and
us
again.
right now. So they were talking about Yellow Magic Orchestra, and
They're talking about Yellow Magic Orchestra, BGM, their kind of final album, and they quote quite liberally from a podcast that some friends and I recorded a few years ago, where we interviewed Peter Barakan, who was kind of involved in the production, vocal, like writing side of YMO's work, and he was also kind of a go-between for the band for a while because Hosono and Sakamoto in particular were like not on speaking terms.
Right.
And you know, when they quote like the New York Times or whatever, like they're like, this guy from the New York Times said da-da-da-da-da, or da-da-da said this in an interview with the New York or the Washington Post. And then it gets to us and they're just like, an interview.
Yeah, that's fake Jet Axel.
Yeah, attribute
But yeah, don't do that, Pitchfork. But yeah,
because real talk, good retrospective, good review. Nathan Yu is a good writer, and it's a good retrospective. But like, yo, cite your sources, bro.
Yeah, word.
Facts.
Word. 0 to 10.
6.
A 6? I think that's fair.
Because I would give the God Fahim a 7. That would have been a 7 for me. And I enjoyed it notably more than this Wolf on Wall Street joint.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 6 as well. I'm going to go with a 6.4.
Wow, 0.4.
I think it's generally good. I mean, a 10 is, you're not going to get a 10 from me on my favorite albums for most part. Like I'm
Sure.
on that Pitchfork metric. I do that even when I'm rating women. It's rare to ever get a 10. So a strong album is going to be like an 8. So this is like a 6 for me. This is a pretty decent, serviceable album. It's a quick listen. The beats are fine. The lyrics are fine.
It's
Nothing
short. It
stands
doesn't
out.
outstay its welcome at all. Like, kind of leaves you wanting more, and there is more. There is a lot more.
The third joint. What is it? Yad Fahim. Yeah, the Yad Fahim, the third album. I prefer over this.
Well, I'm not going to rank this album. I'm not. I refuse to do it because my ranking would be disingenuous. And you deserve better than that, baby. You deserve better. So I'm going to listen to it again, and I reserve the right to come back and rank it. However, I will put it on the Drake meter because I'm diametrically opposed to Drake and everything he stands for. And let me tell you something, guys. Y'all ruined it for hip-hop when y'all let that guy be the man in the game. There was a place for Drake. Because hip-hop is all inclusive, but y'all never should have made him the man. That's that younger generation. That's me, old man, L-Spade, pumping his fist, telling you kids to get off his yard. How dare y'all make him the man? How dare you?
I blame a lot of other people, too, for things that happened as well.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm not against you on that. I mean, we don't review Drake here. I don't listen to Drake. Shout out to
Drake.
Him and his son. What would make this album better?
More Mark Homme.
I agree with you on that. It would have been nice to have a trio there, right? I think a little bit of variation in the beat in Mark Homme would have been nice. Could Danny Trejo find his place on this album anywhere?
Danny Trejo could find his way wherever he needed to.
Goddamn
Talk about
right.
Machete? The guy from the action movies?
You're goddamn right.
I mean, dude has a taco place in L.A. that is pretty dope.
I mean, he's a G, man. That dude is like 70-some years old now. Now, you know, he killed a predator like last year. Like 10 years ago or something, right? Oh, no, he didn't. He died. Anyways, shout out to Danny Trejo, real legend.
Get that man a statue.
Yeah, we're going to review Danny Trejo's album next.
Kill predators. Sexual predators.
I guess that's it, y'all.
Yeah.
First album review done. And we'll be back with some other album reviews later.
I apologize for the half-assedness on my end. Won't happen again, guys.
We were going to do Bob's Son, the Rap Ferreira album, and this. I really prepared mostly for Bob's Son.
Likewise.
Yeah.
I had a lot of notes. We'll talk about that soon.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that, and we'll do another one soon. But yeah, yet to be titled album review group finish.
Yay.
Fuck the alt-right.
It's going to be
Your president's a hologram.